All right, so now we're going to use the double-eyed bodkin to transfer from the back to the front. I'm not going to activate the pushers for the needles. I'm just going to bring them up because of the structure I want to do. I want to keep it every other. So I pull this up, push it back, and as I push it back, push the pusher down. And then I'm going to hook on there and have it stay on the hook. Okay. So push it all the way back. And then to the other side. Okay. That's probably enough of this one, right? Okay, we're going to do double cross tuck. And this is the tech sheet. There's blank tech sheets on the table. And it's a good idea to grab one and put down notes for the structure you're going to knit. Okay? So you put down the structure, the needle selection, and that is which pushers are activated with the lines. I'm using feeders 1 and 2. And when you do your final tech sheet, you'll of course put a reeling of yarn there. It has a French welt startup, and then we transferred everything to the front. Now we're going to be doing a cross tuck, so tucked stitches are going to be on the front bed every other needle. But it's usually something you want to do a little tighter than regular jersey. So what we'll do is we're going to knit 2 courses where it's knitting and tucking every other needle, and then we'll switch which needles are knitting and tucking. Okay, so the pattern selection for that is AX. Okay, so that's a knit in AX now that we're ready to start this structure. This is set at 4.
The back bed.
Oh, yes, thank you. The back bed, very important, needs to be set at GX because we don't want to knit on the back bed. And that's right here too. BB for back bed, front bed, AX. Yep. All right, so we're ready to start knitting at it. And this is the arrow keys, okay? You want them at 0 if you don't want to mess around with your stitch needle setup. But as soon as you turn an arrow key on, what's going to happen is it's going to flip these, okay? So it'll knit, it'll activate this and bring this down, okay? And by doing that, we can flip what's tucking. So I'm just only doing it in one direction. So we can flip it and then knit that same thing coming back. Then when I change colors, it will flip it again, right? Okay. So, I don't know if we might be able to see better with the blue yarn. Can you see where it's knitting and tucking? Right here, it's just a yarn that's been tucked into the needle. It hasn't made a stitch, whereas here it's making a stitch. Okay. So now I press this one down, park that, bring it over to grab the blue. And it's going to switch them again. Okay, and knit and tuck the opposite. So every 2 courses. Now look at this. You see this? You're going to have a problem here, right? So I'm going to pull it from the back, see if I can tighten it a little bit. And I'm going to watch that more closely, right? when you switch up the yarn a lot, you're more likely to have those problems. And that's it. I just keep this arrow key selected, and it will automatically, every 2 courses, switch the pushers. Here's a cross tuck. This is the front and the jersey side. And you see when you do a double cross tuck, you get vertical lines, which is not easy to do, to stripe in vertical lines. This is where we had the French welt and the 1x1 rib start, which is a nice balanced start, right? And then this is the back where we had some issues, right? Some issues, mostly tension. So that's why it's important to watch your tension. But this is what the striping looks here. It's how it looks because of the tucking on the back. Another thing to know about this structure is that this is the same number of courses or traverses back and forth as this. Actually, it might even be more. But because of the tucking structure, it spreads out. So it's same number of courses in Wales, whereas it's wider, right? And it's also shorter because that's what tuck stitches do.